All right, welcome. Let us treat this jam question on vectors. So the question says, in the diagram, P, Q, and R are vectors. Which of the following options gives the correct relationship between the vectors? So vectors are quantities that have size or magnitude and also have direction. And vectors are represented with straight lines, and the arrows on the vectors represent the direction or the angular direction or the direction. So what we see here is now we have three vectors that form an angle here, that form a triangle here, sorry. So these three vectors, they want us to know the correct relationship between them. Obviously, one of these vectors is going to be the resultant. And what is a resultant vector? When you talk about a resultant, when you talk about a resultant is a singular vector that has the same effect as the system of vectors working simultaneously. So one of these vectors is equivalent to, will have the same effect or represent either two of these vectors working together. So how do we identify that? Now, if it was in the form of displacement, displacement is defined as the shortest distance between two points. So now you check. If you are seeing from this point here, you see that R is going towards this point, it's acting towards a point, and P is acting towards us. So here is not the beginning effect of the vector if you are looking at it from a displacement point of view. But if you look at it from here, you see from here, Q is going that way, okay, P is going that way. So the motion or the effect of these vectors either started from here or started from here. So, but I would say it started from here because as you can see, Q moved this way to point here and then later move to this point. And then you see that P happens to be the shortest distance to this point. Assuming you label all these things O, A, B. O, A, B. So you see that P happens to be the shortest distance between Q and R. So instead of going from O to B, then from B to A, you can simply go from O to A. So in that case, P represents the joint effect of Q and R. So the option here, the correct option will be A. P equals to Q plus R. Because the direction that the vector P is acting is equivalent to the direction of both Q and R. Q is going this way, Q acted this way, then R acted this way, which is zeroing Q. So while P directly bypasses both Q and R to arrive at the same point. So P is the resultant, okay? So so let me give you a little bit another example to see how you understand this. So if you have that line there, you have this one here, and you have this one here, okay? Now, if this one goes this way, this one goes this way, and this one goes this way, and you have here R, Q, or this, we call this side P, and then you call this side Q. Now, which one will represent the resultant of these three vectors? Now, if you check, if we are starting from here, this one is acting towards this way, and this one, P, It's acting towards this way. That means it's coming to support Q. So that means the effect cannot start from here. The action cannot start from here. If you consider here, okay, here is where Q is coming to, I mean R is coming to, and Q is also coming here. So it cannot start here. Here is probably the end result, end point of the reaction of the effect of the vectors. So I will say that if the action started from here, Q went that way, acted that way, and then R acted this way, thereby negating Q. Thereby negating Q, thereby negating P. This is P. This is P. Let me clean that up and write it properly. So this is P. So negating P, but Q on its own moved directly from here to here. That means it bypassed both P and bypassed R to arrive here. So Q is the resultant effect of R and P. In form of displacement, you would have said Q is the shortest distance to this point. If you call this point point C, so you would have said Q is the shortest distance to this point, because instead of walking from here to here and then here to here, is a shorter movement if you change your direction to this point and then move direct to C. So Q is the result. So this here will be written as Q equals to, and that might equals to, doesn't look nice. Q equals to P plus R, or you say R plus P. Okay, so assume, let's rearrange the directions so that we see what you would do with it. Okay, let's rearrange the directions. So assuming this one is going this way and this one is going this way and this one is going this way. Here is labeled P. So now in this case, what will be the resultant? If you can put that in the comments below, you put it. All right. Thank you. You like, you share, subscribe. For online classes, personal class, you can book a session with me. Thank you very much.